Imagine you're sitting in your room right now, watching this video. Everything seems normal. The floor is beneath your feet, your chair is holding you up, and the air around you feels calm. But then, without any warning, gravity suddenly disappears. Not for a minute. Not for an hour. Just 5 seconds. It sounds harmless, right? After all, what could possibly happen in only 5 seconds? The answer is a lot more than you think. The moment gravity vanishes, everything that isn't firmly attached to the earth begins to float. You, your phone, your chair, your pet, your coffee mug, everything starts drifting upward. At first, it might feel exciting, almost like being an astronaut in space. People would scream in surprise as they suddenly leave the ground. Cars would begin lifting off roads. Planes would lose the force that keeps them balanced in normal flight. Even the air around us would start behaving strangely because gravity is what keeps Earth's atmosphere pulled close to the planet. But here's where things get dangerous. The Earth wouldn't stop spinning. Right now, our planet is rotating at incredible speeds. At the equator, Earth spins at about 1,670 kilometers per hour. We don't notice it because gravity keeps us firmly attached to the surface. If gravity suddenly disappeared, we'd still be moving with Earth's rotation, but we'd no longer be held down. People, vehicles, trees, and loose objects would continue moving forward at tremendous speeds. In many places, the results would be catastrophic. Objects would crash into buildings, people could be thrown through the air, and chaos would spread across the entire planet. Meanwhile, the oceans would begin to react. Gravity is the force that keeps trillions of tons of water attached to Earth. Without it, water would start lifting away from the surface. Massive waves would form as oceans, lakes, and rivers began floating upward. Even though 5 seconds sounds short, it would be enough to create enormous disturbances. Coastal cities could face devastating floods once gravity returned, and all that displaced water crashed back down. The atmosphere would also begin escaping. Gravity is the invisible force holding every breath of air around our planet. Without it, gases would start expanding outward into space. 5 seconds wouldn't be enough to lose the entire atmosphere, but it would still cause powerful pressure changes across the globe. Birds flying in the sky would lose control. Aircraft systems would struggle, and millions of people would suddenly find themselves in a terrifying situation they couldn't understand. Then comes the most dangerous moment of all. Gravity turns back on. After 5 seconds of floating, everything that had drifted upward would immediately begin falling. People who floated just a few meters into the air would slam back onto the ground. Cars, furniture, trees, and debris would crash down from above. Water that had started rising would come crashing back toward Earth. Buildings could collapse under the impact of falling objects. The damage would be felt everywhere. And that's just the surface. Gravity doesn't only affect things on Earth, it also controls the movement of the moon. The moon stays in orbit because of Earth's gravitational pull. If gravity disappeared completely, even for a few seconds, the moon's orbit would be slightly disturbed. Planets, satellites, and countless objects in space depend on gravity to stay on their paths. A brief interruption could create effects that continue long after those 5 seconds are over. The truth is, gravity is one of the most important forces in the universe. We rarely think about it because it's always there. It's holding you in your chair right now. It's keeping the oceans in place. It's keeping the atmosphere around our planet. It's even keeping Earth in orbit around the sun. Without gravity, the world wouldn't just become uncomfortable. It would become completely unrecognizable. So what if gravity turned off for 5 seconds? At first, it might feel like an incredible adventure. People would float through the air and experience weightlessness for the first time. But within moments, that excitement would turn into chaos. Oceans would rise, objects would fly, the atmosphere would begin escaping, and when gravity returned, the consequences would be devastating. 5 seconds may seem insignificant in a human life, but when it comes to gravity, 5 seconds could be enough to change the world forever. The next time you drop your phone, jump into the air, or simply take a step forward, remember that an invisible force is making all of it possible. You can't see gravity. You can't touch it. Yet every second of your life depends on it. And if it ever disappeared, even for just 5 seconds, you'd finally realize how much it's been doing all along.